Summer crime is already spiking here in Beaumont after a car break-in. More details to come in a live report.
And a Beaumont police officer is not only fighting crime, he's fighting for his health. We'll explain coming up.
And we've had a few showers today. It looks like the activity will really start to pick up as we head into the weekend.
Fox 4 News starts right now.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Right now, Port Arthur police have discovered a burned vehicle on Pleasure Island. Officers are searching the vehicle to determine if anyone is inside of it. They discovered the truck late this afternoon. Stay with us on air and online for any updates related to this story. And tonight, a Beaumont police motorcycle officer is on the road to recovery. Fox 4's Angel San Juan is here to tell us how Officer Bobby Rector faced his toughest battle. Angel, is Officer Rector back at work?
He sure is, Kimberly, just still not riding his motorcycle. He has returned to work, though. He returned last week and is on light duty, but he's itching to be back patrolling the streets of Beaumont. In February, Officer Rector, who is a 18-year veteran of the Beaumont Police Department, was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer attacking his head and neck. Officer Rector underwent 7 weeks of aggressive radiation, a total of 37 rounds, along with 3 massive doses of chemotherapy, 6 to 8 hours at a time, all at MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston. Officer Rector credits his family. He has 3 kids and a son-in-law on the force, and the community for rallying behind him. The support is not surprising. Through the years, Officer Rector has been more than a public servant. He's a people person who says he never meets a stranger.
Even though I have a job that some people don't like, nobody wants to get a ticket, I've always tried to be that guy that I've even told people if I can issue a citation and still have somebody drive off with a smile, then I've done more than I've been asked to do.
The Beaumont Police Department is hosting a concert and a barbecue dinner on June 23rd to help Officer Rector with mounting out-of-pocket medical expenses. You must reserve seats by June 15th. That is this Friday. Then you can pay at the door. Tickets are $20. For reservations, you can call 880-1092. And Officer Rector tells us that doctors tell him that if his blood count remains normal for 5 years, it means more than his cancer being in remission. It actually means that he is completely cured. Some great news there. Kimberly?
All right, Angel, thank you so much. And it's now 70 years since late President Harry Truman passed the Women's Armed Services Integration Act, allowing women to serve in the military. And tonight, we honor those brave women. Fox 4's Quentin Hope reports a community who lent a helping hand to military veterans.
I served in the United States Army. I was in the United States Marine Corps.
70 years have marched by since the passing of the Women's Armed Service Act in 1948. Allowing women to join the military.
There's an old saying that says, look how far we've come. So, yes, girl power, women power, yes, it's an honor to have served our country.
Mary Williams is now a coordinator for retired military veterans. She served 9 years of active duty in the United States Army, an opportunity she'll always cherish.
I learned so much. It was extremely crucial and critical that you paid attention. Yes, it was hard, but I'm so grateful for all the leaders that came before me that led me to be able to serve my country.
According to the Department of Defense, 16% of women are active duty in the military, and about 1/3 of the service members are women.
It's a big deal because I was in the Marine Corps a long time ago.
Sandy Wagner served in the United States Marine Corps. She says today's women in the military receive all the necessary training that wasn't provided once before.
And a lot of women are up to do combat arms. A lot of them could throw you over their shoulder and drag you out of a foxhole.
It makes me proud to see anybody join the military, whether it's female, whether it's male. We're here to protect the United States of America, and that's what we should all do if we want to live in this country, men or women.
And helping one another.
Be proud of who you are. Keep your spine straight, upper lip stiff, and do your best job.
In Beaumont, Quentin Hope, Fox 4 News.
This month also highlights PTSD awareness, bringing awareness to all veterans in need. And now turning to our first look at our forecast, Greg Bostwick is here. Greg, there's something that you're keeping an eye on that's supposedly crossing the Yucatan Peninsula, right?
Well, that's right, Kimberly. We've been watching this for several days. Now it's beginning to advance toward the Gulf of Mexico. You can see the flare-up of thunderstorms around Cozumel, Cancun, east of Merida, and it's making slow progress to the west-northwest. The upper-level flow, though, is very harsh to it right now. Let's take a look at the flow here. It's out of the west-northwest. And I mean, it's screaming into this thing at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. We call that wind shear. The disturbance is trying to move this way. The upper-level winds are going that way. So that's really a disjointed pattern. And as long as that continues, this will not develop. However, there are some indications that flow will diminish as we head into the weekend, and there may be a window of opportunity for this to slowly strengthen just a little bit. But right now, just a collection of tropical moisture. You can see it coming across Yucatan as we head on into Thursday, into Friday. It kind of expands, the moisture extending all the way to several hundred miles to our south. And then as we work into the weekend itself, by Saturday afternoon, some of that moisture starts to work in. The really dense moisture, the really tropical type air still to our southeast, and that begins to move up. You can see it coming up toward the Texas coastline. So by Sunday night into Monday, we're going to watch for some very heavy rains moving to our area. We'll have more on the forecast in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Greg. We'll be watching. Crime in Beaumont is known to spike in the summer months. Youngsters now out of school have idle time on their hands, which can often lead to criminal activities, according to police. Fox 4's Cassidy Wood joins us live for this story. Cassidy?
Kim, early this morning, two males broke into a white Dodge Ram pickup truck right here behind the Austin Innovation Center. A Beaumont police officer was patrolling this area, the 2300 block of 21st Street, when he saw the incident happening. Both of the suspects attempted to flee, but the officer was able to catch one of them, identified later as 17-year-old Jacarius Wilson. The second male is believed to go by the name of Trey. BPD has seen an increase in juveniles and young adults breaking into cars, so please be aware. Do not keep anything valuable in your vehicles and always lock them, even if you believe you live in a safe area.
Bored, or just, again, not supervised, don't have anything going on, and it's a time where they choose to get involved in different crimes.
Now, parents are also being advised to remember that there is a Beaumont curfew and any child under the age of 18 should abide by it. In Beaumont, Cassidy Wood, KFDM 6 News.
All right, thank you, Cassidy. Still ahead, immigration is the hot topic on Capitol Hill today. As Republicans write up a new bill for Dreamers, Democrats are fighting to keep families together. That's coming up next on Fox 4 News. The debate over immigration was the main focus on Capitol Hill today. Republicans have an agreement on an immigration bill that would protect Dreamers, while House Democrats are protesting a policy that separates children from their parents. Camila Bernal has this story from Washington.
The immigration debate is front and center on Capitol Hill as lawmakers try to find a way to protect thousands of Dreamers who could be deported if the program that protects them expires.
Our goal is to make sure that not only do we have a permanent fix for Dreamers, but ultimately that we secure our border for the entire country as well.
House Republicans will vote next week on two bills that could change immigration policy. Discussions are still ongoing, but House Speaker Paul Ryan says they will hit the president's 4 pillars: DACA, border security, family-based migration, and the diversity visa lottery.
I think it's a product of good compromise by our members.
Democrats view it differently, not wanting to make drastic changes to immigration policy and asking for a pathway to citizenship.
There'd have to be a clear pathway for Dreamers to legalize their status in the United States.
It's unclear how many Democrats will support the GOP bills, and instead, on Wednesday, some focused on the separation of families at the border.
What is happening today, my friends, on our border should alarm us all. Every single American, children, toddlers, are being ripped from their parents' arms.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced back in May that undocumented immigrants would face criminal charges for trying to cross the border, resulting in families being split apart. But with the parties divided, focusing on separate aspects of the immigration debate, a bipartisan compromise next week seems unlikely. In Washington, I'm Camila Bernal.
Bostwick, your weather authority.
Well, still monitoring this system coming up through the Yucatan Peninsula right now. It's very poorly organized this morning. It's got a little more active this afternoon, Cancun, Cozumel area, back down toward Belize and over toward Merida. Pretty good explosion of thunderstorms here as this works to the west-northwest. It will not develop. Of course, it's over land. There's a real negative also in the upper atmosphere. What you look for in developing systems is light winds above the surface, 15, 20, 25,000 feet. But we have a really strong core of high velocity air coming in from the west-northwest. Just kind of a stream like a fire hose aimed at this thing. So it's kind of keeping it in check. So as the system moves this way, the upper level winds are like that. And that's called shear. So we're not expecting this to develop anytime soon. However, this pattern is going to weaken here in the next few days. So by, I'd say, Friday or Saturday, when it's in the western Gulf of Mexico, the winds should be much lighter, and there may be an opportunity for this to develop a little bit. Bottom line, though, all along, we still think this is a rainmaker more than anything else. You can see the moisture coming up out of the Gulf of Mexico. By Friday, it's starting to approach the coastline. Our moisture levels start to rise Saturday. Shower activity increases. And the kind of the violet shades, magenta shades you see here, that's really very high levels of tropical moisture. And that's really going to be in place there, particularly Sunday night and Monday. So some of the heaviest rains we'll see will be during that time frame. Now, again, a computer model sometimes has it right on as far as what's going to happen. Sometimes it's out to lunch. This one, I would suggest you look at the potential more than anything else versus location. As we watch the rainfall amounts, not much Saturday. Kind of picks up a little bit by Sunday morning, and then it really gets after it here as we head into Monday morning, Sunday night. You see some 4, 5, 6 inch totals, and then it suggests a big strong band of heavy rain will fall out to our west, including portions of our area, maybe a foot or more of rain. Now bear in mind this is over about a 3-day period, so we can handle that, but that's a lot of rain, no doubt about it. And considering we're pretty dry, that first probably 5 inches will go in the ground. So not overly concerned by that, but certainly something we'll watch as this all evolves as we head toward the Father's Day weekend itself. 20% coverage of showers tomorrow and Friday, no big deal there. That's typical summertime weather. Then our rain chances start to climb, 50% coming up on Saturday, 80% and 90% Sunday and Monday. That's when the heavy rains might occur. Also kind of windy. We'll see some gusts of wind of up to about 30 miles per hour. And then we kind of return to normal summertime weather by the middle of next week.
Pics is sponsored by Adams Law Firm.
And now it's time for our Ask the Attorney segment. Thank you, Gilbert Adams, for being here with us again tonight. Tonight we're talking about something that many people may not think about, wills. And so the first question that we have from someone, do I still need a last will if I am satisfied with how my home and other property will pass on to my heirs when I'm dead?
The short answer is it depends. In Texas, and this varies from state to state, but in Texas, when someone dies without a will, they're said to die intestate. And there are certain laws that would say, okay, if you don't have a will, then this property would go here and this property would be divided amongst whomever. And it can depend on marriages and whether you're talking about real property or personality. So it largely depends, but that's not the only question, where property is going to go, who's going to get it. The next question is, how is it going to get there? Who's going to step in after you pass to do the right things, whatever they need to be done? And sometimes there can be disputes about this. Sometimes nobody wants to do it. So there are other questions besides just where the property is going to go that makes a will very nice to have.
Right, and this next question here, I've heard that a probate is expensive and time consuming. Is there a way this can be avoided after I die by doing something now? And also, what is a probate? Explain that.
You bet, you bet. A probate is the proceeding that is a court proceeding after someone dies to make sure that property, the right people are dealing with the property to get it to where it's supposed to be. For instance, if you have a home or something, no one is going to want to buy the home if someone wasn't authorized to sign a deed to you. So someone needs to be authorized, and that's an example of something that would be handled by the probate court. But to answer this question, yes, there are things that can be done. For instance, a trust could be created, a will could be done that creates a trust later on, and there's other things. It largely depends on the type of property that you have, how many beneficiaries you have. But yes, there's some good, important things that can and should be done to prepare for this.
And we have about 30 seconds to get this last question here, but does a lawyer have to draw up my will, or is it possible for me to make my own will?
You know, it is possible. A lawyer can do your will. It can be typed in that event, but also the person who dies, we call them a testator. The testator can create his or her own will. We call it a holographic will. It can't be typed. It has to be in the person's handwriting alone. In other words, it can't be multiple people. You can't dictate to other people to write what you want. You've got to do it all in your hand. It's called a holographic will, and that's just as good as a lawyer typed up will, as long as the substance is good.
All right, well, Gilbert, thank you so much. So good to know these answers to these questions. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll be right back after the break.
Is sponsored by Dabney Garage Door.
And of course, since it's Wednesday, it's time for our pet picks. First up, we have Annie Bell, who looks like she's got her eye on the camera there. And then next we have Millie, who's very precious in whatever that top is she's wearing. How cute. And lastly, we have Suki, who looks like she has just gotten her fur and her hair done. So very nice. Thank you guys for sending in your pictures. If you would like to submit your pet pics, go to our website, fox4beaumont.com, hover over news on the menu bar, then click submit your pet pics. Well, that's all the time we have for Fox 4 News at 5:30 tonight. We'll see you again at 9.